All right, just over a year ago, 47 freshman Republicans formed a historic new class that were sworn into Congress. This week, we're going to be speaking to some of them and take a look back at that first year that they've had on Capitol Hill. We begin today with two of the 17 Republican women who were part of that freshman class, Michigan Republican Lisa McClain and Iowa Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. Good to see you both.
Thanks for having us on.
You bet. I want to ask you this, and I'll start with you, Congresswoman Hinson. When you look back on this first year, is it what you expected it to be? I mean, how, you get here, everybody's got an idea of what they think Washington's going to be, what Congress is going to be. How is it like or dislike what you expected it to be when you were first sworn in?
Well, I can say that it was full of unexpected surprises in the last year, but one thing has been consistent, and that's that you've got strong conservative women standing up to Nancy Pelosi every single day, and we are taking Speaker Pelosi to task, and that has been a lot of our work in the last year, is holding this administration accountable for its big spending, big government priorities. So I think the most important thing we can do heading into this last few months of our first term in Congress, I hope there will be several more for all of us, but we have to make sure we fire Nancy Pelosi and take back the House so we can really get a lot of these priorities for the American people across the finish line.
Congresswoman McClain, I remember going up to Capitol Hill to the hotel where they kind of house you all, and it was weird because they had you they didn't have the same opening events that normally greet a freshman class because of COVID. Have you guys been able to overcome that and develop the bonds and the relationships that normally would greet a freshman class?
Well, this is my first run in politics, so I really don't know what it's supposed to look like. I'm sure it's a lot different, but one of the things that I think has been a really good bonding experience is because of COVID, we've really been able to bond as a freshman class, and I would say in smaller groups maybe, more dinners and whatnot, but it's really bonded us together because quite frankly, not a lot of other people were there. And I would also say that our senior colleagues have been extremely warm and welcoming and cognizant to the fact that we haven't had a traditional freshman year. So they have even extended the hand, I think, more than they would normally do, just because they are cognizant of what we're going through.
Congresswoman Hinson, before you joined Congress, you were part of the media as a reporter. Now you're being covered by reporters. Do you feel like the coverage of you is fair? How has it been being on the opposite side?
Yeah, well, it depends on the day, Lindsay, but what I would say is that I have tried to operate in my office in a way that I would expect as a journalist, right? I'm operating as a citizen legislator that has that background. And so for me, it's about using those skills to hold administration folks accountable, asking those really important questions. I go out and take those questions myself because I think that transparency and accessibility is really important. I'm doing my 15th in-person town hall this week in the district. So I've been out taking those tough questions from voters. I take them from the media every week. I do a weekly press call. And you know what I think is that people deserve to have that kind of transparency and accessibility from their policymakers in Washington, D.C., and that should go on both sides of the aisle, because clearly that's how we really start the process of cleaning up Washington. A little sunshine goes a long way, in my opinion.
Congressman McClain, you were in the private sector before joining Congress. What has it been like for you? Have you been able to bring some of that, or has there been just so much red tape that it's frustrating, or have you been able to implement that?
It's a little frustrating. I mean, look, you could never run a business, let alone your household, like the government runs. I mean, we haven't even passed the budget from last year. We just continue to kick the can down the road. And if I had a dollar for everyone that said, oh, politics isn't business, and you're right, it's not business. That doesn't mean that it shouldn't run like a business. We need to get back to some common sense. Little things like, how about we talk about the budget? We've gone back and we've been there for a year and we've talked about really a lot of progressive ideas, which the American population and the American people don't want. How about we just get the mandatory things done first, like the budget? It's really not that big of a stretch.
Yeah, that seems pretty realistic. I want to get both of your take before we let you go, so only 30 seconds each. As Sean mentioned, you were a group of historic women, Republican women being elected to Congress. There's a push for more women now. What is your advice to those running or those thinking about running? Congressman Hinson, I'll start with you, 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, strong women are making Congress run, and I would say that we have a great story to tell as conservative women. The two reasons I stepped to run were their names are Max and Jax, and I drive my minivan all over the district. I would say to any conservative woman looking to step up and run, you can do it, make it work, because our next generation truly depends on what we're doing for you.
Congressman McClain?
Run hard, run fast, have a lot of confidence and some thick skin. But your passion and your beliefs will drive you through.
Like that advice.
Yeah.
And love the dog. Appreciate your time, ladies. Thanks.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy Valentine's to you both. Appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you.
Great night.
You
All
bet.
right.